Okay. So my name is Dan Lagaya, also known as Dan Dan. Um, I'm a lot of things, but the main thing that I do is I do large scale portrait work, whether it's on canvas, wood, or on a mural. That is my specialty. So I've been painting for a pretty long time now. I started when I was like 16 years old. That's kind of late. If you think about the greats, they started when they were children. But yeah, I started when I was 16 years old. So it's been about, I don't know, give or take 17, 18 years now. So yeah, that's what I've been doing now. My style in my portrait work is like almost like block paintings, like rectangular or square. And I don't paint the whole face, I paint like parts of the faces. So the style that I have now has transformed since when I was in high school. I was just trying to draw realistic. I think everyone wants to paint super realistic so they understand the fundamentals. And then once I surpassed that, you learn how to break all the rules, right? Like you try different things. So my style is definitely this loose, abstract, expressionist type of style, because especially with the paint strokes in the back, very different. I usually like to put those strokes in the eyes and the lips, so I would say it's a mixture of abstract, expressionist, portraiture work. So I applied to be part of a benefit at a gallery with Sean and Frankie. I wanted to sell a painting that described pretty much Sacramento, and when I see Sacramento I think about diversity, so that's why I came up with the Tower Bridge, because it is known that in Sacramento, if you live here, especially in downtown, you know that is one of the things that we're remembered for. Besides the Capitol, it's our bridge. And a bridge to me is like an open pathway for someone to come in. And I wanted to emphasize the diversity in our city. So I used all these different colors, especially with the eyes. I highlighted the eyes with the white. So that's pretty much how I came up with it. I showed it at the benefit. No one bought it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I wanted to make it something better, so that's why I redesigned the image from the original one that was supposed to be for the benefit that didn't sell. So now I created this one. I wanted to work with Sam because I saw his work ethic and I saw his output of like his final product. To me personally, it was definitely different. It was original. His functionality of how he uses his garments, it just was different, and I liked it. And I like his work ethic. He's always working, something that I can relate to. I'm always working, trying to be better, trying to do new things. And so for me, it was about, I want to say, yeah, just one knows another person who's also out there just burning the midnight oil and just working and chipping away at their craft, honing in on their craft, and just going at it day and night, night and day, 24/7, 365. And I saw that in him, and I was like, yo, your work is dope. We need to work together. And that's when I hit him up, and we kind of hit it off, and we just been in connection since. And then we just started building upon this new design that I wanted to create for a garment I wanted to release. I think the biggest complication we had was coming from the original design to the final piece. The original design had a lot of things that I liked and a lot of things I didn't like, so the transition was trying new things. Not necessarily the best thing to do when you're trying to do things is try new things. You want to know what actually works. When you want to come up with a final concept, do what works. But as you guys all know, sometimes you got to take a risk. Just like life, you got to take a risk, and sometimes when you take a risk, it can be really good or really bad. So the second concept was really bad. It was really actually like something that like we both looked at each other and was like, this is not working. Like, it's not good at all. I thought it wasn't good. He thought, you know, well, I decided to take away the color from the eyes down, and it just looked generic. Like the distressed look, everything just, it didn't work the way we wanted to. Like the fuck did I create? I would never want this on a piece of garment. So I met up with him again. We talked about what we liked, what we didn't like, how we were gonna change things. We added the color back in. And then he came up with fading the bottom to make it blend in with the shirt. That was a big thing, very, very big thing that we did. And then adding that distress look, the texture too, we added texture. We added texture to the painting. And the question was, how are we gonna make that look when we screen print it? And that distress look, there was a lot of times I put texture on the original canvas and then we had to take it off. And it's actually very difficult. I didn't know if it was gonna fuck the whole canvas up, but I ripped them off. You can see the holes through them. I had to patch it back up, put primer back on. So it was a lot of work. That was one of the most difficult parts, was that. And then finding someone who we could trust to put it on the garments, make it come out to our eyes and our visual of making it come to fruition, you know. So it worked out, you know. It was just a long process over time, because you know, when you collaborate, there's not just one person that says this and it's the final product's like this, and this person and this person. It just keeps going over and over again until you figure out what you really want, and then it finally worked out. So yeah, that was the most complicated part, was not coming together with ideas, but more so the process. But that's what we enjoy, like, as artists. And if you don't enjoy it, then find something else to do, because this is how you become great at anything. You have to enjoy what you do and get there, you know, in my belief, you know. That's what I think. With Sam's like details that he put into the actual painting and the t-shirts, it was dope, man. You know, the twill tape that went on the top, you guys have seen that. And then the bottom part of the placement of the design, putting it on the bottom, I would have never thought of that. Just never would have thought of that. And then I would say the overall composition, just making it look long, and then just putting the rainbow tag on the bottom, the twill tape on the back. I would have never thought of that. So these little details make all the difference of just being just a regular shirt. So yeah, like his ideas and my ideas, they coincided with what we wanted to make. So it worked out. It's pretty dope. I don't know. So like with this whole coronavirus thing going on, we don't know when we're gonna release it. I think we were planning on releasing it for his fashion show in April, but as you guys know, this whole coronavirus kind of shut everything down. So I don't know when we're gonna release it. Maybe we'll just do an online release. We won't do it in person. I don't know. So we're still trying to figure this out. It's kind of crazy what just happened with the whole coronavirus, and so we're trying to figure this thing out. So we can release it to the public and let everyone get a piece. I mean, there's only a limited amount of prints. There's 60 prints, you know, and not everyone's going to be able to get one because there's limited sizes, right? Once they're sold, they're gone. We're never going to put this same print on this same garment. If we do, we'll change up something so original that it's a different design. Not the design rather, but more the garment. We're going to cut maybe different garments, make some totally fucking different. You know, I don't know. The sky's the limit. You know, we could come up with so many different things. I mean, we have a project with the jackets that came later on. We're like, yo, what if we put them on jackets? And that started a whole nother thing for me. Like, I was like so excited to create something new. He gave me fabric, and I started painting that design literally on the jackets. We didn't get it screen printed. We didn't do that whole thing. We were like, let's make them super original, literally paint on the garments. So we got a type of fabric that's canvas, and I painted on that. He's gonna chop up that fabric, cut and sew, stitch it, and then, you know how I paint in patches? He's gonna stitch in these patches and there's like dripping paint. He's gonna put that with the stitches of, or the sewing machine, and just put it in there. Something so original, so different, never seen before on these, we wanna make on these two jackets. So I think once we get that done, you get to see how that looks. It'll be so dope because it's so different. I'm super excited. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, you know, because this is Sam's vision of his jackets. But other than the jackets, the shirts, fucking dope. But I'm sure he's gonna make them look dope. He always puts out dope work, so it's gonna look fresh, it's gonna look clean, and I'm sure it'll look super professional. So I'm really excited for the shirts and jacket release.